Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. It is the Daily Dish, and you're here. Isn't that fantastic? I think it's fantastic. Welcome. It's Tuesday. It's Transformational Tip Tuesday, and boy, oh boy, have I got a show for you today. We're talking about peace this week. Inner peace, outer peace, all the peace. And there's our girl Jocelyn and Deborah, and Flynn is in the house. It is Tuesday, and I'm so glad you're all here. I can't wait to share all of this with you because it's a needle mover. It's going to make you think. I've got research to back it all up. And I just have this feeling we're going to hear a few things about this show after we're done. Just saying. In speaking of transformations, who's ready to take back their body? Now, when I talk about taking back your body, I am not saying, let's go get bikini ready, right? Because that kind of thing just sends me to the moon. It's about owning your body and understanding that your body is the transportation for this life. And having your body serve you instead of having your body debilitate you is a big deal. So what do you want to look, what is it? What's going on? What's holding you back from the vibrancy that you want in this lifetime? You have to ask yourself that question, because when we are living our lives on purpose and for purpose, we recognize whose we are and how we are to be. We're to show up every single day. You can't show up if you're racked in pain. You can't show up if you can't move. You can't show up and be your true, authentic self if your body is holding you back. Amen? So take back your body is something that I said to myself in 2015. I was tired of being tired. I had Hashimoto's was just raging out of control. 3 huge cysts, 3 huge goiters really on my thyroid. I had everything going on. Then I had a raging case of rosacea. It was like my body was on fire, and the pain and the exhaustion. No, just no. I looked myself in the mirror and said, I am going to take back my body. And I did. And it was an incremental thing. I changed my diet up. I changed my exercise up, and not in the way that you think. And just everything about it was seeing, knowing, and understanding that ultimately I'm in charge of my body. And whether my body is going to get better or worse, I had the opportunity and the responsibility to change things up so that I could become the woman that I was supposed to become, so that I could be vibrant, so that I could live my mission, so I could live my life on purpose and for purpose. And I know I've spoken a lot about this, but somebody here is listening to this and you're just going, oh my gosh, that's me. Go check out Take Back Your Body. We have this at savingdinner.com/body. Now, the first 15 people who sign up are going to receive extra bonuses to the tune of almost $200. I mean, good stuff, like full kits and all of that. You'll find you'll see it. You're going to get a workbook. We meet every Tuesday starting on January 10th for 8 weeks. There's this thing called hot seats where you're going to get personal one-on-one attention, and then you have a personal one-on-one consultation, just privately, you and me, on Zoom. So I just want to plant this seed for those who need to hear. Our seats are going quickly. the first bonuses. We're selling this right now. I say we're pre-selling it because it's really going to go on sale on the 26th. But I just know that there's a few people out there that this is absolutely the program they're looking for. So go take a look at it, would you? savingdinner.com/body. The other thing that I want to let you know is that our kits are on sale for an additional 5% off that, but that's a total of 20% off what you're getting. And the kits, we're going to be doing a sprint starting at the front of the year of the first of the year, 2023, right? So what I want to say is get on that. We have bonuses that go with that. And we changed one. It was going to be Take Back Your Body. It was going to be Hot Melt Sprint, the printed ones. We ran out. So now you're going to get a quote deck. That's a $20 value. And that's going to be going in your little kit when you order. So we have a little extra special bonus there, additional percentage of cost off, and also the quote deck. So it's a really screaming deal. Hi, Jeanette. Glad you're here. Let's see, what else do we have? Sandy's in the house, by the way, and so is Jackie and Kathy. Lovely to have you here. I'm so glad you're here. And the other thing that I want to tell you is that our Christmas menus are fully available for you. You can share those if you want. savingdinner.com/Christmas. Let me just tell you, you're going to want to get those for your collection. There's some good stuff in there. And the last thing that I want to tell you is our quote of the week. Is just a really good one from James Clear, one of my favorite books, one of the few books I've ever read twice and listened to once. And that is, every action you take is a vote on the person you wish to become. So think about that. When you're putting your fork into something that's maybe not going to be just right for you or going to cause you pain later or whatever, think about that. When everything that you do is a vote for you or against you. It's just, talk about drilling it right between the eyes. Am I right? All right. Look, my sweatshirt. Look at this. Lake Wanteska Pickleball Club. There is no such thing. My daughter, bonus daughter, made that up and gave these to Mark and I for Christmas. And I just love it. So I'm wearing it. It's nice and cozy. It's cold here. So let's talk about this whole thing about peace, because, when we think about peace, we think about, that Zen type of individual who just walks around with this, just everything is just fabulous and flowing. And that's not necessarily what peace is. What we have to look at is, how does peace operate? Is it our operating system, or is it something that we're just constantly in pursuit of? Hey, Denise, I'm glad you're here. We're going to talk about this because I really believe, I've got some information here, some research to back up how your home really does affect your peace. Hey, Debbie. So let's talk about it. You ready to dig in? You've heard that you need inner peace before you can get outer peace. Have you ever heard that before? And I'm going to say, no, that's not true. And I'm going to tell you from personal experience, by the way. It was visual peace that was the thing that happened for me, that I created in my home, that I was finally able to get some inner peace. And there's research and science to back that up, by the way. So listen up on this. The stuff in my head was all about the condition of my home. I was constantly beating myself up. Why can't I just put things away? Why can't it just be? Why does this place always look like a bomb went off? In my house, I had two types of, this is way back. It's not like that now, but I had two types of being, shall we say, in my home. It was like clean, neat, and straightened up as a pin, or else a bomb went off. There was, and then maybe before the bomb went off was just getting to the place of looking like a bomb went off. And why was that? And I just couldn't get it, that this is the way it was. And what I thought about was basically the condition of my house and the condition of my body, and I would look at the scale to give me a reading every day of how I should feel about myself. I'm dead serious. This is the way I operated for years. This is why I created programs that concentrate on loving yourself instead of beating yourself up and not having to count calories and do all this other kind of stuff, but instead get into the business of living your life, of creating the vibrancy that you want, living your life on purpose and for purpose instead of just going with it and having Groundhog Day, one day after the other, right? Get up every morning, look at the scale, ugh, and there goes there goes your mood, there goes your day, looking around and saying, why is it like this? That was my whole life, 10, 20 years like that, every single day. It was Groundhog Day. So what I found is that making peace with your environment is the first step to making peace with yourself, because it's so basic. It's so easy to understand that a dish that's clean from the dishwasher can go into a cabinet and get put away. There's a place for it. It's easy to understand these concepts, and yet we allow ourselves and we take ourselves to this place of it's just too overwhelming. It's just too hard. It's just this, it's just that. And I'm here to say that's not necessarily the case. Okay. So just hear me for a minute and let's get going with that. Hey, Linda, by the way, hello. The science is very clear. Clutter and disorganization have a cumulative effect on our brains. They've measured this. Did you know that? And so when we're living in visual chaos, we can feel the impact inside. We can feel that. Marie Kondo, do you remember she had a series? It was a few years ago. I think it was called Tidying Up was the name of the show. And it was an instant Netflix hit. Everybody was talking about it and talking about her books and all of that. I watched the show and it gave me the heebie-jeebies simply because if somebody were to take everything out of my closet and heap it up on my bed and say, okay, now go deal with it. I mean, I can't do that. So, but the thing that struck me on that show, if you saw the show, was the emotional connection people had with their things. So they had there's this stuff mentality, how it made them feel. And they had this one desire for one thing. They all wanted the same thing. They wanted a lovely, organized, visually peaceful home. Every single one of them. Nobody said, oh, I just love this. I'm just going to live with this. This is just great. None of them. They didn't. They all wanted this, but there was this emotional connection to the stuff, and that was the bridge that they had to cross. So while you're dealing with the inner conflict of not being able to let go of the clutter, you're going to find yourself in this place of this horrible limbo, and there's no peace there. There is no peace there. And just for the record, you all know me. I'm a huge Fly Lady fan. I'm not a Marie Kondo fan at all. I mean, I think she had some good ideas. I liked the way she did her drawers, by the way. She rolled everything. I started rolling everything and putting it in my drawers and lining it. It just made sense, and it was easy, and you knew where things were, and it was less cluttery. Smart idea. Certain other things that I have done that I did pre-Marie Kondo, like, using little plastic things inside of drawers for makeup and for personal products and what have you. It just made sense rather than opening this cluttery drawer and just trying to dig out and find all these things. So I'm just letting you know that, I found the whole Marie Kondo thing to be overwhelming. And not only did it, to me, kind of suck the joy out of, like, how am I ever going to get through this? It added on. It piled on to the overwhelm already. But the thing that we know, she said it, even Marie Kondo said it, Fly Lady says it, everybody says it, right? Who is a clutter expert. Clutter messes with your peace. Everybody knows that. And the research backs this all up, by the way. It all backs it up. It interferes with your life and comes between your goals and the vibrancy that you're seeking. It does. And we don't like to talk about it. And it's like Fly Lady says, it's your dirty little secret that you can't open your door to somebody or whatever, or have somebody in. But what we need to know is, what does the research say that it does to our brains, to our self-esteem, to the way we live our lives, everything. And the research is clear. It says visual distraction of clutter creates cognitive overload and reduces your working memory. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Do you want that? Right? No, of course not. Because clutter creates more cortisol and it leaves us in this low vibe place of fight or flight. It does. It leaves us in this low vibe place. It's terrible. So here's the thing: 66% of folks with clutter feel anxious. Now, did you hear me on that stat? 66% of people who have clutter everywhere in their house feel anxious. I don't know about you, but anxious doesn't feel good. Anxious brings on the cortisol. Anxious brings on anxiety attacks. Anxious brings on not living your life to the fullest and the most vibrant way. It doesn't. It just takes away. So the other thing that we have to, again, we go back to this whole thing. So, here's the result. We've got anxious, stressed out, consumed, and consumed by guilt, and consumed by what can I do about this? Consumed, consumed, consumed. And for me, like I said at the very beginning of the show, my consumed was what's my weight about? And, did I even lose a pound? Or I was just so ridiculous. The weight on the scale would be my dictator of what my mood would be for the day. And then I would look around and feel even worse, day after day, Groundhog Day on repeat. So the thing that the researchers found is that clutter creates chemical imbalance in your brain. Okay? You're less likely to sleep well. You're more inclined to get sick. You are at greater risk for type 2 diabetes. You have poor food choices more likely, and you snack more and have more snack foods and et cetera around the house. And you cook less. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? This is research, by the way. So a Yale study found that clutter negatively influences the perception of our homes and ourselves because our homes are a reflection of ourselves. We've heard fly ladies say that, right? Because we do. We take it very personally. That's why we want our homes to be lovely. That's why we want them to be inviting. And that's how we see them as an extension of ourselves. And ultimately, it leads to the satisfaction with ourselves, And when we don't have our homes in the way that we're satisfied with, that we feel is a lovely space, then we feel very dissatisfied with ourselves. So I have 9 things that you can do right now that's going to help you to deal with this once and for all. And of course, I always recommend anybody who's just starting going to flylady.net and learning about her system. It is free. Yes, she sends a lot of emails, but you can get also exactly depression, Jackie. You're right. But you can also she does a daily digest, I believe. So that would be helpful. You don't want all those emails. But her system is brilliant, and she's been around for 25 years or 24 years now. And, there's a reason she has the following that she does, and it's well deserved. So what do you want to do? Number one, you want to conquer that clutter. There's 3 things that you can do. This is Fly Lady stuff. You can bag it up and donate it if it's good quality stuff. You can give it to someone. You can also, throw it away if it's just trash. I think too often we get too worried about how we're going to deal with this. Should I donate? Should I sell it? Should I put it on eBay? Should I put it on Marketplace? What should I do with this? And all I can say to you is that when you get rid of this stuff, look at the end result first. And what's that end result going to be when that clutter's out? Freedom. Freedom. Peace. A weight has lifted off. You can't put a value on that. So instead of getting yourself all worked up about whether you should sell it or give it away. Give it away. The world is just very interesting what happens when we give things away too. There is a freedom involved in that. And there's the goodness of being able to give from the depth of love that you have in your heart, even something very, very valuable. It will come back to you. It will come back to you. As you reap, you will sow. As you sow, you will reap, I should say. Number 2 is you need to do one room at a time. There's, again, back to Fly Lady. She's got a whole system. She's got zones and all of that so that you can concentrate on that and get things done. Or sometimes you're going to just say, you know what? I've got this bag. It's not full. I'm going to go to another room and just start filling it up and what have you. I keep a bag in my closet. My clothes are, it's weird because my weight hasn't changed since September, but my clothes keep getting too big. I wore a dress last night that was like a tent, and I that dress is going to go into that bag and get donated. But it's just funny how, your sizes change. We'll get rid of them. There's why do we hoard this stuff when it could be benefiting someone else? So do that and just make sure that you also have a concentration of what you're doing. And one room at a time. I would say the first one you're going to want to do is your bedroom, because that's going to help you with sleeping. And maybe the second one you're going to want to do is hit the kitchen. If your place is just, if you have a blown up place, that's how to get started. Number 3 is baby steps. Go see Fly Lady's stuff. She's got 11 baby step piece. I don't remember what it's called. 11 baby steps to peace or something like that. I can't remember, but it's brilliant and it will help you. You got to have your routines. You got to do these certain things. And every single day you have to get up and you have to put the lid back on the toothpaste and put the toothpaste back in the drawer or in the cup or whatever it is that you do it. And then just take a piece of Kleenex and wipe down the countertop. Just these little things all add up. And remember what our quote of the week is? Every action you take is a vote on the person you wish to become. That doing that little cleanup after yourself is a vote for the person that you want to become, right? It is. Number 4, if you take it out, put it back. There's a bunch of TikTok videos where they use it as sort of a mantra where they'll say, you take it out, you put it back, you take it out, you put it back. And somebody has taken the time to make this huge video on that whole thing. And, for some reason, some of us didn't get the put it back type gene. We have to be reminded on that. But putting it back means that you have a perpetually clean bathroom. Wiping down the countertop, it's perpetually clean. Seriously, that's a big deal. Number 5, it's a project. Treat it as such and use deadlines, use steps, and use planning. When I see somebody and I used to do this, so I'm talking about myself, okay? When I would take a project and I'd take up the dining room table for a project and this project would loom for months, that's not fair to everybody living in the house. Mom's project sitting over here, taking up space, taking up the family eating area, and it's never getting worked on. If you did that at your job, would you have a job if you said, oh, that's coming, I'm just going to put a sheet on it and I'll get to it some later? You can't do that. You have to get on it. So if you have a project, regardless of what it is, if it's a crafty thing or it's if it's a vision board, even, because I did the vision board I kept the vision board on my table for like 2 weeks when I finally said, take your own advice, Leanne, go put that thing away, but these are the things that we need to do, is give our family back the common areas and be in project mode with a deadline. Do it well, and that's how you get through it. Okay. And remember, if you have a hard time scheduling stuff like this, use a time block sheet to figure out where all your time is going. Because I promise you probably have some places where your time isn't being used appropriately. savingdinner.com/time. That's where you can find the time block sheets. Dress for it. This is one of my favorite things. So Marla used to say, if you act like you're going to go out and clean your garage and put on tennis shoes, you wouldn't clean out your garage in a pair of flip-flops, and have on a pair of tennis shoes and stuff. You're ready to get to work. And you can fly around the house and get a lot done like that. Put on the appropriate gear and get your butt kind of going. One of the things that I do first thing in the morning is after I get our bed made and do a little tidy up in the bathroom and straighten up and wipe down anything that needs to be wiped down, is I just walk into each room and make sure everything is back where it needs to be, and even straightening things up on the coffee table. It just makes me feel good. I like to look at visual peace. It brings peace inside every single time. Decorate later. This is a good one. I remember this really clearly, that when people would ask, this is all, Fly Lady stuff. When people would ask Marla, they'd say, well, now that my house is all straightened up, what do I do with it? And so what I would say to you is start creating a Pinterest board for yourself of what your style is. And maybe it's a couple of different styles and what things that you would like. And, we can do a lot of stuff without having to spend a fortune. A couple of throw pillows, or even getting shams over your old pillows. They're cheap, on Amazon. I change mine out all the time. I should take a picture of my Christmas, and I'll put it in the Hot Milk Sprint group. How's that? I'll do that tonight when the tree's all lit up and stuff. But it looks pretty and joyful when we do things like that. Number 8, your vibrant vision board. Remember that your home is a reflection of you. So on your vision board, it is perfectly legitimate and lovely to put a picture of a beautiful home or a beautiful room in there so that you can see and imagine yourself in there. As we can imagine ourselves in the state that we want to be and in the environment that we want to be, we could create this ourselves, isn't it? Jackie wants to see my Christmas decor. It's very simple, Jackie, but it's pretty. I don't like to spend a lot of time on all of that stuff, but it's stuff that I've had for years that I love. So I will give you that. And number 9 is make your bed daily. 71%, Psychology Today said this, 71% of bed makers are happier than those who don't make the bed. And there was a general who gave I believe it was a TED Talk talking about the importance of making your bed first thing in the morning. And he said that when you do that, that's your first accomplishment for the day. And it sets your brain on a track for looking for the next one. And I have to say, I think that's wise. It's really wise. And it's basically putting your mark down and saying, this is it. This is where I start. And from there, we move out. And if you can just go around your house and just 5 minutes of tidying up and straightening things out and fluffing the pillows, and I give them a little karate chop too. Boy, don't you feel so good? I want that for you. And, we have to talk about our environment, because our environment, we do take it very personally, and we do see that as a reflection of ourselves. So visual peace helps to lead to inner peace. And I hope that was helpful for you. This is stuff that it took me a lot of Fly Lady. It took me a lot of years, but I figured it out and I customized it. I changed some things. I didn't do it exactly the Fly Lady way. I changed some things, but I made it work for me. And that's what you need to do for yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you're not doing it exactly the way, someone tells you to. Do it the way it feels good. And Vanessa, you have 2 beautiful daughters who can do a great job with you and help. So I'm glad that was helpful for you. I'm glad to see you, by the way. And everybody else that's here, you know what? These are our homes. We live in this body. This is our home. Physically, we live in this body, and then we live under a roof of sorts. Make it a beautiful place to be. You deserve that. All right. Thank you for joining me. Tomorrow's Wise Women's Wednesday. Are you going to be here? I hope so. And don't forget, if you missed the announcements, you can go to savingdinner.com/announcement. Especially, there are people here right now listening that need to be in Take Back Your Body. So don't forget about that. Go check out the announcements. You are so welcome, Debbie. Pinkies up, Jackie, and pinkies up to all of you. I appreciate you all so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.